So there.
So there.
So there.
So there.
Let me know your thoughts.
So there.
So there.
So there.
Let me know your thoughts.
Why do you keep saying let us know your thoughts?
Let me know your thoughts to me is a nice lead-in for So there. So there. Welcome to episode 48 of So there. I'm Tom Karamitis.
And I'm Gary Doyle.
Back at you. Last episode was Christmas Eve. Now we're into the throes, the most depressing months of the year, January and February.
I wish I was back at the So There cabin. So cozy and warm, with a fire going. Wish I was back there instead of in my cold basement.
How has your post-Christmas time been? Happy birthday, by the way.
Yes. Tom and I, for those listeners that are not aware, we share the same birthday. Tom is a year, I always forget, a year younger?
No.
A year older, and yet I am a year wiser. Also, interestingly, I just would like to point out that I think I got, by the last time I checked, I was ahead in well wishes on Facebook, birthday wishes. I think I was ahead 131 to 106, so that's a pretty resounding victory. I've not checked out the latest totals, but that was the day after.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting how you got a lot more birthday wishes. Gary responded to that cornucopia of birthday wishes with a impersonal mass email where Tom Karamitis likes to send everybody an individual thank you. Maybe it's just the difference between us.
Well, that's why your Facebook birthday wishes, while not as numerous as mine, are probably higher quality. You know, mine are typically like HBD ! Like people can't even be bothered to write happy birthday, or just HAPS. That HAPS.
I haven't seen HAPS. I've seen HBD though.
What is the fastest amount of time that I can dash off a birthday greeting to Gary Doyle? HAPS. Tom Karamitis is a little bit higher quality. I was pretty proud of my gambit the next day to elicit even more Facebook birthday wishes
by sending out a mass signal flare to the masses.
Yes, but it was clever.
Birthday.
I said, okay, I thank you to the people that wished me happy birthday on Facebook, and yet 932 friends didn't. Was it something I did, something I said? How can I be a better Facebook friend? Thought it was pretty funny. People really liked that. And then it got more birthday wishes, so I won.
You know, I did notice something interesting because you came to Facebook long after I came to Facebook, and you have 906 friends, and I have 766 friends. So you, at some point in the last couple of years, you passed me by. Are you one of those people on Facebook who just accepts every invitation you receive?
I may be a tad indiscriminate. Yes. Guilty as charged, so there. Tom, as you know, we're coming up on the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl will be next Sunday. And as people in marketing, I think we can expect, certain things from the ads. We can expect a big budget, big productions, probably lots of meaningful messages, right? Lots of meaningful messages. I don't know if anyone's seen that SNL skit where they go, hard cut Cheetos. A man approaches a wall in Mexico with his young child next to him. He looks at the wall, and over the wall is thrown a bag of Cheetos, hard cut Cheetos. We can look forward to many ads like that on the Super Bowl. What do you think, Tom?
I think we can look forward to a number of ads that all share the same title at their agency. Anthem. I did see in the
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, the only commercial that won't be called Anthem will be those odd State Farm ads. Odd State Farm ads, which I don't understand. I would like to deconstruct them. So there is a African American man. So State Farm ads. Let me back up. State Farm ads used to be good. They had witty, discount double check, and Aaron Rodgers, and they were funny. And now there's this guy who I thought was an athlete because he's so wooden. This African American gentleman. I don't think he is an athlete. I think he's an actor, and he has a little light banter with, Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, and then they do something silly, and the African American guy kind of rolls his eyes and goes, "For a great rate at a price you wouldn't expect. Talk to your State Farm agent."
I don't know what to make of him. He's just Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky. He's just kind of always smiling, and whatever kind of crazy hijinks are going around him. He's always kind of hanging around Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, and he's their sidekick. But you're right,
straight man. He's the straight man. Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes are the kooky kind of. Patrick Mahomes plays a sneakerhead who walks into the shoe store, and Aaron Rodgers plays a folk singer, and then the guy kind of just chuckles and says, "For a great rate, talk to your neighborhood State Farm agent."
But have you noticed he does when he does the tagline, "Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there," he does it to the same cadence as the jingle. So it kind of, they bring the jingle in right after that. It's the exact same. State Farm is there. It's he's also oddly chiseled, which I think led us both down the path of, is he some kind of ex-athlete we just don't know about, and he never identifies himself as such?
Yes, he's very fit.
Very fit.
Very fit. Any other thoughts on the ads in the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
Tom, do you have any in the Super Bowl? Or no, the big game? I think we have to say the big game. We're not allowed to say the Super Bowl. The NFL may come after there.
No, nothing in the big game. I have seen some spots in the Olympics. One of them who's the guy who did all the weird guy who's in all the Lincoln commercials we used to make fun of.
Matthew McConaughey.
Thank you. Have you seen? He's in this ad for something called Salesforce. Have you seen this? He's like an astronaut, and he's walking around in his astronaut gear, but I think he's in the desert. I'm still not really sure what the commercial's about. Have you seen it? It's for Salesforce.
Is it an anthem?
Feels like an anthem. He
like
starts out in space.
Well, there you go. I mean, space. You present that to a client, they're like, you know what, sold. I don't need to hear the rest of the ad. Super Bowl, space. I'm in.
And the very next thing out of the producer's mouth in that meeting is, "Yeah, Mr. Klein, as you can probably imagine, space is expensive. Few things are more expensive than space."
Tom Garmitis walks in and throws cold water on. Everyone's so stoked to be in space. And Tom Garmitis walks in and says, I don't know if you guys have ever worked for NASA or built a rocket, but space is expensive. A few things that I would like to point out that you should be ready for the Super Bowl besides the ads. Football, professional football, is the only place where the word prevent is pronounced prevent. When it's late in the game and the defense wants to protect the lead, they play the prevent defense. As long as I've watched football since I was a kid, not the prevent defense ever. It's always been the prevent defense.
And where else, other than football broadcasts, would you ever hear the word physicality? I was so hoping that wasn't an actual word, and then I was crestfallen when I looked it up, and it is an actual word.
That word has come on in the NFL this year. I have heard that a lot. It has really come on. Physicality. Look for a lot of men wearing jerseys. We've talked about this. Men wearing jerseys. It's a shame. It's a shame the game's not on Fox. I looked it up, Tom. It's on NBC. Do you know why?
Don't they have a rotation?
Yeah. Well, no. Do you know why it's a shame it's not on Fox?
Oh, why is it a shame?
Because then everybody could note the strange resemblance of the Fox theme song to a certain Christmas carol. So the Fox theme song goes, right? And then the Christmas carol goes, Christmas carol goes,
Yes.
by the way, we call that mouth trumpet.
We did a whole episode on mouth trumpet once. Something else I was going to say about the Super Bowl broadcast. Isn't it odd? This will be 2 Super Bowls in a row where it's being played at the stadium of one of the participants. And I don't think that had ever happened before, but last year was in Tampa, right? And this year in L.A., yeah.
Was last year in Tampa?
I thought so.
Oh, wow.
Tom Brady won and it was in Tampa. I thought.
Interesting.
Our friend Alan Spindle will probably write a letter to the editor and correct me if I'm wrong.
Alan Spindle's dead to me.
Because of the Facebook snub? Because
Yes.
he said? No.
Yes.
Do you have to win everything? Are there any things that I'm ever allowed to win?
You know, the things that I think that I won against you, I've won more birthday wishes on Facebook. I believe I won at Desert Naval Trunk Ball.
Well, why don't you point out what Alan said, why you're so angry right now?
I forget, to tell you the truth.
I'll tell you why.
I just remember that I was angry at Alan.
You were angry at Alan because Alan had the gall to suggest that he liked my solo pod episode better than yours. Right? After we had an episode and we brought on Bob Akers and he declared you the winner of the solo pod episode.
Alan, I'd just like to say, words hurt like a fist. So there.
You know, we talk about commercials and Super Bowl commercials and you know, it's nice that, you know, people are producing commercials again and we're kind of getting semi back to normal in our industry. I had a thought of one of the other normal things for me on production that happened. I was on a shoot in Jacksonville, Florida in January, and I was reminded of the glamour of production as I limped towards the Porta-John about to have explosive diarrhea. This is why people want to get into production. A hot, humid day in Jacksonville. Something didn't sit right with Tom Karamitis. The Porta-John is 300 yards away. Yes.
That happened to me on a production once. We were shooting on a stage, and I think I got food poisoning from the lunch. And so we started shooting after lunch, and I just all of a sudden had to go, and I ran to the bathroom, and I didn't even tell anybody, and they were shooting, and they were just like, where's Gary? Of course, they just kept shooting.
Few things in life are more exciting than having diarrhea in a Porta-John.
You shot with somebody famous. Are you not allowed to say who?
Oh, I can say who. Golfer Rory McIlroy.
Yes.
Nice guy. Good guy. Regular guy.
Funny he has a funny accent, though.
Well, he's from Northern Ireland, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. But it was nice to kind of get back on the production horse a little bit. Florida is a state where COVID apparently does not exist because no one wears masks anywhere, and it was a little bit odd. It was strange in restaurants. You know, we had a client dinner one night. We went out one other night, but waiters and waitresses, nobody was wearing masks. So I was glad to survive Jacksonville and not get sick.
Yeah.
I hadn't been to Jacksonville before.
I've never been to Jacksonville. Yeah. I'm going to Los Angeles for a production in a few weeks, and there I think it's the opposite. I don't think you're allowed to leave your hotel without a mask. They'll stop you at the front desk and say, sir? Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of outdoor restaurants. It'll be a different environment for Gary Doyle. Some outdoor meals. Yes.
Tom, Tom, sometimes I wish that I was king, and if I was king, I would do something that I like to call
I decree.
I would like to decree that in the springtime, now we're not quite to the springtime yet, there's still snow on the ground, but in the springtime when the snow melts and there's poop on the sidewalk, dog poop on the sidewalk, that owner shall have to return to the scene of the crime and pick up that poop. Have you noticed this? A lot of spring, you go for a walk, you take your dog for a walk, and the snow's melting, and what does it reveal? It reveals dog poop that the owners thought they could perhaps get away with not picking up because there was snow on the ground. I decree you shall have to pick up your poop when there's snow on the ground.
First of all, yes, I've seen that. I see it in the city a lot too, obviously. But I must salute you for a brilliant segue from my little diarrhea ode.
I didn't even think about that. Actually, I just want to give credit for that I decree. That was from a listener, Maddie.
Thank you, Maddie. I've been going back to the office since the first of the year. I go in on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and many days I'm the only person in the office. I don't see another soul.
And you go there willingly, right? Your company has not mandated. Well, obviously they haven't because you're the only one there. But you go in willingly. You want to.
I go in willingly. I want to. I actually enjoy the commute. I enjoy having some kind of semblance of a division of my day parts again. You know, commuting and then working and then commuting and then being home and not working. But I riding the train again. Especially as you approach the city, I've been reminded. I'm seeing a lot of the sites that I had seen before the pandemic that I had forgotten about. And one of the sites, and Gary, you might have seen this as well, because it's as the train approaches downtown. You go through an area where there's a viaduct, and there's lots of graffiti on this viaduct. And somebody wrote something in graffiti, and I have spent probably hours trying to decipher this, and I want to share it with you because I have a feeling in your superior intellect you can probably help explain it to me. The piece of graffiti says, "Get rich, or try sharing." Now, I would understand if it was like "get rich or live frugally" or something. I would better understand the distinction, the choice between one and the other. But "get rich or try sharing" has just befuddled Tom Karamitis.
Let me try to break that down, Tom. So first of all, trains that go to the North Shore, the Union Pacific North Line, they don't go under viaducts. And they they certainly do not go by graffiti. The riders of the Union Pacific North Line ask that unpleasant things like graffiti and viaducts not be part of their experience going into the city. Okay? So I can't quite grasp what you're talking about, but let me just point that out first of all. We don't accept that. I think so. There was a. Have you ever heard of the rapper 50 Cent?
Yes.
All right. So 50 Cent. I'm going to try and explain what I think this means. 50 Cent's first record was called "Get Rich or Die Tryin'." All right. So I'm guessing that what was it? Get rich or start
sharing?
Try sharing? I'm guessing that derives from "get rich or die trying" because it kind of has a similar sort of ring to it. It sounds like it's a turn from that sort of selfish, egotistical point of view of "get rich or die trying" to don't get rich, try sharing.
So get rich or try sharing may take some of your wealth and give it to other people, give stuff away, be charitable. But so is that what you're saying? That's what you think?
I think don't be all about the money. Give it away.
But the thing is, though, you can get rich. It's not those two thoughts aren't mutually exclusive. You can get rich and also be very charitable.
I think that's true.
I don't know. I just really wanted to understand it, but I can't.
But
your 50 Cent reference helps me a little bit. At least it was based on something. It was just some random thing.
Yeah, that's my best guess.
All right.
But I'd like to move on from this topic now, because I think that if this podcast has North Shore listeners, they don't like to listen or think about unpleasant things like graffiti and viaducts. There's a reason they call it Pleasantville, Tom.
I will say, the place I see this graffiti is south of Clybourne, when our trains are basically on the same line. So there. I checked. By the way, I checked our viewer mail, which I hadn't checked since mid-December. And I said, "Oh my gosh, we have so much stuff in our inbox."
Was it spam?
Yeah, it was. Well, it was spam, and it was also somebody has used our email address sothere@yahoo.com to sign up for some kind of porn service, and also some kind of what's Reality Kings? Is that like a gambling site or something? Reality
I don't
Kings.
know.
But I was getting kind of a welcome to these sites, and then we've charged your credit card, and then it's some numbers and some X's. So somebody's used sothere@yahoo.com as their email address just to be able to register for these sites.
Hey man, registering for a porn and gambling sites under sothere.com would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Well, it's nice to see that somebody's getting some use out of our email address.
Are the Russian bots about to discover sothere@yahoo.com? But no real mail to read.
Well, we actually did. We had a nice brief letter from our good friend Alan Spindle, and Alan said,
"Your good friend Alan Spindle."
Yeah, my good friend Alan Spindle. He said, "I am driving to Denver from Denver to Chicago, listening to So There. I used to tune in during my commute, so haven't really kept up. I do have some notes, but mainly want to say thanks for making Kansas bearable. Your friend, Alan."
Wow, that's
nice.
Stunningly high praise. Your podcast is bearable.
No, we made Kansas bearable.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
got a nice text, not to sothere@yahoo.com, but I did get a text from my dear friend Brad, who was walking his dog on Christmas morning and listened to the So There Cabin episode and decided that's a new Christmas tradition for him to go out in the snow, walk the dog Christmas morning, and listen to the So There Cabin episode. Isn't that nice?
That's very nice. That's very nice. I know it's become a tradition of ours to actually trudge on up to the cabin to record it. So it's nice that somebody listened to it.
We touch many people, Tom.
In different ways.
Well, it's time to wrap up another episode of the podcast. So, on behalf of Tom Karamitis, this is Gary Doyle saying,
So there!